Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPS.
I'm Katie.
I'm Jenny.
And it is a warm night in Southern California, but we are happy that you are joining us for a fun-filled half an hour where we see who sweats the most in the next 29 minutes and 30 seconds. No, that's not what we're going to play.
You,
I was going to say,
sure.
It probably
I don't know how to remind you, but
you have your fancy fan. Katie's fancy fan.
Yes, thank you. Katie, fancy fan.
CFF.
That's what it is. I bet you wish you'd had your fancy fan on Sunday when we were at the CityWalk, the Universal CityWalk, where we parked in the Jurassic parking, which I understand is legendary.
I love Jurassic parking. It's the only one with a pun.
And as we start talking about Jurassic parking and everything else, I would love to see in the comments what the temperature is wherever you are located. F of D says it's 112 in Vegas. We'll see if anybody comes even close to that. I actually wouldn't be surprised if somebody did. But while we watch the comments for the temperatures, and yeah, I'm glad I'm not in the studio too, Mike. I tried, and it just was not going to happen. But
what if he was in the studio in his Christmas sweater? That would be awesome.
That would be a problem. That would be a very interesting show because who knows what would happen then. I can just imagine me passing out halfway through and you guys just being like,
then we take over.
There'd be no way to end the show then because I have to hit end broadcast.
Okay, so Jenny would stall for
92 in Sacramento. Go ahead, Katie. What
Jenny would stall for like 4 minutes as I get into the car and I drive over there, and then I teach myself how to end the stream in StreamYard.
It's really hard. You go up to the big button that says end broadcast.
Okay,
we got 85 for Mike. So it looks like 112 is the winner currently. We'll keep watching this and see if we get something better.
But is 112 really winning?
No, I don't think it is. But our good friend Steven says the studio would be the worst place right now. The worst. And he knows because he's been there on nights like tonight.
I was imagining a Jean Ralphio from Parks and Recreation, like the worst. Like I was imagining that.
Let us know what you were thinking.
Please tell me.
Yes. Should we do a quick tease for him real quick, Katie?
Yeah.
What are we've got another adventure that we are going to do with Steven. And Katie, talk about it before we start talking about CityWalk.
Dear friend Steven hosts a wonderful podcast
Dear
called
friend
All
Steven.
the Web.
Do we have to say that every time now?
Dear friend Steven.
Dear friend Steven.
Hosts a wonderful podcast called All the Web's Stage. You should, if you go on the DAPS Magic Twitter, there are actually tweets that we have retweeted, so you should go follow him, give him some love. But he is a fantastic playwright, gives us things to put our voices to. And it's
the next one's gonna be awesome.
It's a really, really good time. The tweets that Mr. DAPS and myself have picked to challenge him to put into the plays were very interesting. I will say one of us had a tweet that involved the Muppets. That's all I'm going to say.
Never would have guessed that one.
Surprise, surprise. One of us picked the Muppets. But yeah, it's really good. I read the scripts when he sent them over. I'm very excited to put our voices to them. It's going to be a ridiculous adventure. And you should go follow him and subscribe on whatever podcast or platform you listen to podcasts.
Exactly. And speaking of the Muppets, we did exactly what they did in their first movie and all climbed into a car and went to Hollywood to go to Universal CityWalk. How is that for a segue?
I was going to say, but this bear's natural habitat is not a Studebaker.
That's true. So we went to Universal CityWalk on a balmy, was it 96 degree day, 94 degree day, something like that.
It was only 90.
So hot.
You're being very dramatic.
I don't remember. They all blend together. But we went there and it was my first time ever going there. We decided 60% of it was open?
I said like 40.
Oh, okay, 40%. I couldn't remember if it was 40 or 60. It was half of it roughly. And so we went there and we actually listened to music that was Universal music. So Katie made a Universal playlist so that we would be in theme going all the way up because that just makes it so much better. But we got there. It was actually not as hot as it seemed like it should be. Like it felt hotter here when we were like leaving than it was when we actually got up there. I'm wondering if part of it is it's on the hill, and so there was a nice breeze through most of the day. But we got up and we went in and we got these thermometers that they put at our foreheads. And
I got yelled at.
Katie got yelled at for doing the right thing. And
okay, my mask was here, which I just have a nose. Like it kind of rolls down my nose, but it was here. And the lady went to take my temperature and she's like, pull your mask up over your nose. And I was like,
It is.
It is over my nose.
I said they wanted her to pull it up over her like eyes.
Yeah,
so she could
probably.
just like try to find her way.
Well, then my eyes are safe too.
Yeah.
That is true. So we made it inside of Universal CityWalk, and I don't know what I expected because I've been to the one in Florida before, and we had fun there. Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2018.
2018. Everything seems so much further away, but
I know, right?
So we went there in Florida, and it's really open down there, and it's kind of like Florida versus California in general, where things are really open down there, and you come here and they're like, let's cram you in. And that was my first impression. It was like you walk in and it's kind of like this little pathway that you're walking through underneath an escalator, if I recall. And then you come into this open area that I will admit my first thought when we saw it was like, oh, it's the dinosaur aviary from Jurassic World, where they had all the big, pterodactyls that are going to come and eat people. But it had that like thing over the top of it. And it makes sense though, doesn't it? A little bit?
Yes.
Okay.
It does.
I'm just telling you what my
we
first
were not
thought
eaten by pterodactyls. I'm just
no, we were
not going to put that out there.
There was a giant dragon on top of was it Bubba Gump Shrimp? Yeah, and I don't know what that was about, but it was weird, but it looked cool. And so then we turned left because we decided it would be cool to go see the Universal Globe in the entrance and all that stuff. And it was hot. And as so often happens when it's hot, people were jumping in the water, and that was weird. But I'm just giving you my impressions of the day, and then you guys can add into it.
Well, the dancing fountains were closed, so they had to do something.
Yeah, you
had to get in with the globe.
Yeah. And then there was also people that were climbing in with the globe to get a picture with the globe, which was also weird. That was later, but but it really was weird. Everything is like right on top of each other, and I think that's probably my biggest takeaway was just like even the food court was on top of things, and it just felt very stacked up in close. It was like walking through I guess kind of like walking through a set where everything's smaller than it actually is. But it was fun. We went to the store, the Universal Studio store, and
Universal.
Yeah, and went shopping and didn't find anything. But we had fun. I think my favorite store, and then I'll ask you guys what your favorite store though was that sweets store that Jenny took us to, and
it's sugar.
It's sugar.
And that was just fun because they'd done so many random things with sugar, and then they had random characters that kind of made sense. I guess they all did make sense, but it was just kind of a fun, whimsical store to be in, and I think that was my favorite one that we went to. Jenny, what was your favorite part of Universal CityWalk?
I mean, clearly the sugar store, because it's just fun, and they had like the whole like Wizard of Oz, like they were made out of jelly bellies,
which if you got too close to were gross. But
like
from far away,
like, we just walked in and it was like there, and then there was like later there was like a monkey, and like I took a picture with like a Mr. Jelly Belly on a bench, and like we're very happy we're getting married, and there was the owl like for the Tootsie Roll Pop commercial, and like Katie and I found like our next Halloween dresses. I think like one is like Sweet Tarts and one is Laffy Taffy. And we were thinking that definitely should be our outfits.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I also liked the smaller movie store in which the employee lured us in because he's like, there's air conditioning in here.
That was funny. And there was nothing in there.
It was really like, small. It was
Yeah.
stuff that was all in like the bigger store, but we did walk in for the free air conditioning.
And he was very proud of it when we left. Katie, what was your favorite store?
I really enjoyed walking by the bath store that had all of the bath items shaped like candy.
Oh, yeah, you talked a lot about that.
I didn't want to go in because places like that, I always feel like you're being like hunted down by the employees. I don't know if they make commission or what, but and obviously it's probably different in the time of COVID. But like when you go to Lush, there's always an employee, and they're wonderful. They're wonderful, but they're like, "Do you want to put your hands into this soap water?" And you're like,
"No, I do not."
Can
that
I not?
Really weirds me out.
And they're like, "Want to do a demonstration?" I'm like, "I just want to smell things." So yeah, I didn't want to go in, but I really enjoyed looking at it from a distance and going, "Look, that's a soap bar shaped like a donut with sprinkles on it and everything."
There was one shaped like a cupcake or something too, right?
There was one shaped like a cupcake.
I remember this.
Yeah. So it was very interesting to walk by and look at it. But yeah, I also really enjoyed to watch all the strange things people were taking photos with.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody was taking a picture with the Abercrombie and Fitch. Still don't know why.
The whole family was there though.
Yeah,
like,
the
mom was taking the picture and the rest of the family was in front of it. And I had this moment of like, oh, we should help them. And I was like, I don't know how though, because I'm not going to touch your phone.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So it was very funny. And we've seen it at Downtown Disney too, but it's like the parks aren't open. What do we take a photo with to show that we were here?
Giant pillars.
Giant pillar in front of Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yep. How safe did you guys feel?
It wavered. When we first got there, I was like, oh, this is a nightmare. Because there was markers on the floor that said which direction you're supposed to be walking.
Nobody
and
was
it was twitched.
Them.
Yeah. And everyone was very close to each other. And I was like, have we heard of social distancing? And you would think for the way I got yelled at over my mask that, you know, everyone else would have it above their nose. There was people that straight up like had it here. And I was like, bro,
yeah,
what does that do? But as the day went on and the crowds weren't as intense, there was a lot better social distancing. And I saw most mask compliance.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. Jenny, what'd you think?
Yeah, some like when we went into like the big store, yeah, there was clearly like, this is the entrance, this is the exit door. And like, that was like, ah. And it was a little crowded in like that store. But I felt like in the other ones, it wasn't nearly as bad.
And even when we walked by that one later, it was completely empty. So I kind of think like we got there, was it around 2:30 is when we got there?
Yeah.
And I feel like we hit the end of whatever their version of a rush is, because as the afternoon progressed, it got better and better. And we were commenting on Sunday too, that there were times, just because of how thin it all looks, that you would look down the pathway and it would look really crowded. And then as you were walking closer to it, you're like, oh no, it's just forced perspective messing with you. And it really wasn't that bad. But yeah, be considerate, wear your masks, stay away from each other. Makes life a whole lot better. Let's move on to Jim Henson Studios. They've got some fun stuff going on. They have created a new show called Earth To Ned, and it will be arriving on Disney Plus in what, about a week? 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
September 4th. It's like 3 weeks.
Is that 3 weeks? No, that's 2 weeks.
That's like 2.5.
Yeah. So Ned will be arriving on the planet Earth on September 4th. So for those who do not spend $30 on Mulan, they can watch Ned, who will be interviewing Earth's stars, which it seems like that's all he's here for, is he's here to get to know the stars of Earth. And I am completely intrigued by this show, mainly because it seems to me like it's Jim Henson Studios doing exactly what they do best, which is play. And I'm hoping that's what we get, and we haven't just seen clips that seem like that. But I am very intrigued by this. I'm not going to say, I think I am. I'm more excited about this than I was Muppets Now going into it. mainly because I do think, to go a little bit deeper into this, and this is the Kermit the Frog, Mickey Mouse problem, is when you have a character with this much depth and this much notoriety, it's harder to play as much because they have to kind of like fit into the role. And that doesn't happen very often, but they have to kind of play that like, oh, I'm the figurehead role. Whereas Ned, nobody knows, so he can do whatever the heck he wants. And all of these characters can just be as goofy as they want or whatever. And I think it's the advantage of new characters. It's like Pepe, it's like Rizzo. When these new characters came up, they became the kind of class clowns that used to be inhabited by, really, like you look at the old Kermit stuff, he could be goofier. Same with some of the other ones. I guess he was more sarcastic than goofy, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm really intrigued. I'm looking forward to this. What do you think, Katie?
I love the concept of it. I love the fact that these are aliens that came to take over the Earth, and he just fell in love with Earth culture, and so now he's like abducting humans to interview them. I love that. I also agree with.
Did I see RuPaul was one of them?
Yes.
I think that's funny. He'll be in both now.
Are some very good names in here. I'm very excited. Where did it go? Tay Diggs, they're also grabbing.
I love Tay Diggs.
I love Tay Diggs. Rachel Bloom from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Kristen Schaal. They're pulling where there was one person I was really excited about. Now I suddenly can't find it. Yeah, just one. Gina Carano. That's who it was. Just because I love Gina Carano, and I think she's wonderful. They're pulling people from High School Musical, the musical, the series. Like, they have a lot of synergy going on from the other original shows. But from the trailer, it looks amazing, and the puppets look really, really good, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, Jenny, what do you think?
Can I just say like ditto? I mean, like,
yes, you can.
I actually, in my work meeting earlier today over Zoom, they asked like a bunch of people's opinions on something, and like the later you go in the lineup, you don't have anything to say because everybody took all of your things. So thanks, Katie. And but yeah, no, I think it looks really cute. And I was like thinking, I was like, this is why my parents should get Disney Plus, because they would love like this. But they should get it for other reasons as well. But this specifically, I was like, my father would geek out on something like this, and my mother would be like, oh, like, because he's probably gonna ask questions about like nature and like weird. My parents are nature people. I am not, so they feel like they failed a little bit. But that's another story for another time.
Well, that's fun.
I think it's really good. I'm also a little more excited about it than I was about Muppets now.
I just think there's a level of freedom that comes with Jim Henson Studios that Muppet Studios doesn't have, being part of a bigger corporate entity. I am curious to see if they end up working more with each other, if that leads to some more synergy between Jim Henson and Muppets. And I don't necessarily think that would be a bad thing. Part of this is coming from Not Scary Farm last year for the media night, which was opening night. We got to see Brian Henson perform, and you just realize, like, I've seen lots of good puppeteers through the years, but he was like, watching him for the 5 minutes or whatever he was, I was like, that's a masterclass in performance, in puppeteering, and in how to teach new people how to puppeteer, because he pulled a guy up on stage. And
I still can't believe we saw that.
Oh, it was amazing. I think we have it on our YouTube, actually.
We do.
And but
I'll tweet that later tonight.
Sweet. But yeah, it really, like, I think that moment is part of the reason I'm so excited for the show. And I can't wait for September 4th. And we'll definitely be talking about it on whatever that following week is. And I just think it's going to be great.
I agree.
Anything else? Okay, we will move right along then. Shanghai Disneyland is increasing its capacity from 30% to 50% looks like on Monday, on August 24th, as I was looking over at my calendar. And so that, to me, says things are heading in the right direction at Shanghai. I am curious to see what 50% capacity looks like at Shanghai Disneyland. Do you guys have any thoughts, questions, concerns with all of this as Shanghai Disneyland continues to move forward with its phased reopening?
I think that 50% is still not a lot, and Shanghai Disneyland is very big.
Yeah.
So even with it being 50%, they're still going to be able to socially distance.
Well, they have fireworks too.
Yeah, and the other thing is that in Shanghai and in China, period, this isn't as much of an issue as it is here. They're being very responsible. People have taken this seriously since day one, and I don't think they've, well, at least Wuhan, I know, hasn't seen cases since May. So it's
yeah, they've had a different approach to it, so they're in a different part of the process, I guess you could say. And
but they're not dealing with the same things we are.
Correct. And what do you think, Jenny?
I think it's cool. Just look at that, like, you know, just to see that it's actually like moving forward, that we're not just sitting in like a plateau of it. So, but I also just in general, like we've all seen, like just Asian culture naturally wears masks when they're not feeling well, like just as like a respected thing. So idea. I think it makes sense that I like that they're trying to see, like, and obviously if it's an issue, they'll pull it back again. So
my big question is they're moving from 30 to 50. Do we even have, like, is 30% capacity even being reached right now at Shanghai? Or is it like, I got excited about it initially, and then I'm like, well, they had less than that when it opened. And so I'm curious if they're only at, 20% or something, and they can have more, but that doesn't mean they'll actually have more people show up. That'll be interesting. We should try to find that out somehow. I don't know how, but somebody might know. Maybe touring plans or somebody. They might know. They're kind of smart with things like numbers and stuff, but we'll check it out, and we'll follow up on that and see what we learn. But yeah, Shanghai is very big, as Clocky says, and we will see how that plays out for them. And it'll be interesting to see next week what the Instagram stories and photos look like as people continue to return to Shanghai Disneyland. So finally, we get to move on to perhaps the most exciting story of the week, if not the year, if not the decade, if not the millennia. Is that a good setup, Katie?
It's a pretty good setup.
There is a new Star Wars holiday special, which means well, one, it means that they're leaning into the original Star Wars holiday special, which I think is amazing.
Put it on Disney Plus.
Do you think that would happen?
I feel like there's probably a licensing nightmare that goes along with it.
I almost wonder if when they signed the deal of buying it, that George Lucas had a clause of like, you can never release this.
I'm sure there's something like that, because I think that Disney is almost leaning into the fact of like, listen, we know it's bad aspect of it.
That's what makes it so good.
Exactly. But I feel like someone doesn't want it released on Disney Plus. So I'm excited that we will get something on Disney Plus that resembles a Star Wars holiday special.
And as Clocky is suggesting, absolutely, it is time to watch the original with the DAPS Watch 2020. We will be making that happen for sure. I'm pretty sure it'll be at least 3 of us. And then we probably will also have Murray joining us as well, because he absolutely loves the holiday special, and we just couldn't leave him out. It's an adventure. I
love
watched it with Johnny and Steve-O, I believe, years ago.
Oh my gosh.
That was a night to remember. But no, it's actually really fun. And you know those old Christmas that are just like full of corny, like, let's put as much corny moments as we can to make you feel something, and they don't necessarily all have to go together. Is that a good way of putting it, Jenny?
Yeah. Also, maybe like, I don't want to like spoil anything, but like, you know how we love the cooking segment Muppets Now?
Yes.
There is a cooking segment in the holiday special.
What?
I just watched it for Christmas in July, so like it's very fresh in my mind.
It is a very strange movie.
All I know is that there's something about Kashyyyk in it. If I'm remembering correctly. I can't remember if it's Kashyyyk or just Wookiees. And also Be Arthur.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
It's also a musical.
I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, this is all you really need to know about this. So we will set up a DAPS Watch 2020 for this. We have to do it before November when the new one comes out, which is the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, which we'll get into now. But so I have to do this before like the end of October, I feel like. Is that accurate?
Well, we can't cut into our spooky time.
So the end of September?
Yeah. I'm thinking September because October, it's got to be spooky.
Okay. There you go. Well, some people might think this is spooky. But so anyway, the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special is a completely different time, and it actually involves Rey and company and time travel through the portal that I believe this is actually connected to something they did in Star Wars Rebels, if I remember correctly. Actually, they did it in Clone Wars too, I think. So I actually think there's going to be some connection points to other Star Wars properties, I guess is a good way to put it. And I am really curious to see how they connect all of the dots. And I would love if they connect the original Star Wars Holiday Special. Like they could conceivably, with a bunch of Legos, connect the original Star Wars Holiday Special to literally everything else in Star Wars. With Legos. Did I mention they're with Legos?
With Legos?
Have we talked about how excited we are about this Lego Advent calendar that we're getting?
And the Lego Advent calendar that we're going to get. Hopefully they don't sell out.
All coincides.
Oh, yes. Right? September 1st when we set our calendars.
That's correct.
Yes. That's when we have to get.
Yes.
Because I need like droids in Santa hats.
So are we each getting one and then we open them up? Like we'll do a video each day of us opening them and then, I don't know.
That'd be good Geekstagram content.
I was thinking YouTube too, but that's
That'd
a
be
great
good
idea.
YouTube content.
You can go both places. That's fine. Jenny, what are you most looking forward to with the new holiday special?
Yeah, if it doesn't connect to the first one, I'm going to be sad. If it's just
It
like,
has to.
if
Like
it's
it.
just Happy Life Day, like I'm going to be sad. So
Okay.
like, I'm going to need, I'm going
Do you
to
think?
need,
Do you think certain
homage.
family members might show up?
Maybe.
This is
No
spoiler,
baby
so I
Wookiees.
can't go any
No
deeper
baby
than that.
Wookiees with teeth.
I mean, it'll be very interesting. And also just like with Legos, I just like the kind of like stop motiony, like, feel of Legos. Like, I kind of like that going, like Legos going through sand. Legos going through.
I like those, and I like the Lego video games too. Like whether they're Star Wars, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, like those are a lot of fun as well. All right, predictions for this is going to be great, terrible, terribly great.
I think it'll be fun.
I think
it'll be fun. Is it going to be great? I don't know.
Probably not.
No, it's going to be Lego
fun.
great. Yeah. Yeah, that could be. I think it'll be. We're gonna have a blast watching this. So, I believe Life Day is November 17th, off the top of my head, Clocky, but I could be completely wrong. Katie, you look it up. Maybe I think
I'm literally looking it up right now.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
November 17th.
You
I was
did
right.
it. That's the day before Mommy's birthday.
So we will try to, maybe we can watch it on the 17th. We'll see how that works out. All right. Well, as we are running out of time for tonight, we do want to plug some of the other things that we have going on, mainly a new daily series that is happening every day with our good old friend Egon. And we should have invited him tonight, actually. We could have done that. And
he talks too much.
That is true. So we are doing Disney This Day, or he is doing Disney This Day. And that is a This Day in History, what do you call it? Segment? Show? It's only about bit. It's only about a minute long, maybe a little bit less than that. And he shares something interesting or not interesting, you never know with him, that's happened on this day in history every day. And we will see how far he runs with this. And we're having fun watching it so far, and we will see where it goes in the future. And the whole team has been helping feed things to him to help keep this moving forward and organized and all that stuff, which I will tell you, I am the editor, and it's a lot more difficult to keep it all lined up than I thought it was going to be.
Do you think, and I realize I shouldn't be pitching this live, but do you think that Egon would be up for some Gloaming Realms this spooky season?
I think he probably would be. And I think to make that happen, we'd probably have to turn to our good friend Steven, our dear friend Steven, and see if he could perhaps collaborate with some of the writing for that. Adam is doing well. It's a little bit past his bedtime, though, so he doesn't usually stay up for Geeks Corner. And
yeah, he also keeps trying to steal your dog.
Yeah, that could be nice.
That could be nice.
I broke Katie. Jenny, your head.
I'm
That's
just imagining Adam walking Nana because
Ooh.
Nana is
I'm
20
pretty
times
sure
Adam's
Adam would
size.
just ride Nana.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he would walk Nana.
Yeah, that's how that would work. But anyway, we're out of time tonight, Katie. So why don't you get this ball rolling?
You should go to dapsmagic.com. Check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. Click on a little button there that says Geeks Corner, and you can find all the things we have done here. Meet Adam, meet Egon. I think Nana's also there too, so meet Nana.
Jenny, what else should they do?
You should follow us on all the fun types of social media. On Twitter, we are the Geeks Corner because it's fancier. On Instagram, just plain Geeks Corner. And tomorrow is Wacky Wednesday, in which you will find out some fun facts about Katie, Mr. Daps, and Sir Roger.
You pointed at yourself for Sir Roger.
I know. I was just going to me.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't know. I thought I should put my fingers down.
Okay. And while you're doing things, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got videos going up all the time. Murray is still at Walt Disney World, so there will be videos coming from that. In fact, there's live videos coming occasionally from that too, and you won't want to miss any of those. But we hope that you're having an absolutely fantastic week. Please stay cool, stay hydrated, stay safe, wear your masks, all that fun stuff. But that is all the time that we have for you this week. So we will see you round the corner.
Bye.